Hey there.
Hello.
Welcome to Calvin Run Reviews again.
Welcome to Calvin Run Review again.
It's funny because we were really looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Oh god, we're doing Justice League already? I mean, this feels like it should be around this time, but we should have had several more films before this.
Yeah, we've only, this year we've only had the chance to review Wonder Woman, I think was the only...
One of them was the only other DC film that came
This
out
year.
this year. But in terms of the number of films, I mean, we're going way back. I mean, this was all meant to start ages ago. Green Lantern was supposed to be the first of these DC cinematic films, but it bombed so hard they went back to the drawing board and started again with Man of Steel. So, should we get our thoughts on what we think of the individual DC movies at this point?
Yeah, okay, so...
Just realised something. Go, keep going.
So, I think we should basically just start by saying that we both have different ratings for each of the DC films.
You really like Man of Steel. I hate it.
Yeah, so top to bottom, I'm going to say Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Justice League, Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman. Whereas Calvin would say
Wonder Woman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Man of Steel.
Yeah, which wounds me to my core.
Well, Man of Steel is just crap in every sense of the word.
I disagree, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's just. Well, I mean, the only reason I know Superman is Superman when he's in the fight scenes in that film is because he's wearing blue. I wouldn't know otherwise because the way I hate those real zoom in shots. I mean, it's the cinematographer on that film clearly was. He clearly was very impressed by the zoom function.
Yeah, he just found it.
But when it comes to these films, Justice League. So let's get our thoughts out, none spoilers, and then we'll go into spoiler territory.
Yeah. So
because it's very hard to review this film without going into spoiler territory. This film is basically a massive spoiler.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it even spoils I suppose it doesn't really spoil too much. I mean, if you haven't already seen all of the other films leading up to this one, apart from Suicide Squad because that's irrelevant to this one, then you won't have as much context as perhaps you need. I mean, Wonder Woman, you can actually just watch Justice League without having watched Wonder Woman and still understand what's going on. Because Wonder Woman is basically just a sort of big flashback to what her character is.
But at the same time, you get a lot more of Wonder Woman's character if you have seen Wonder Woman in this film.
But I think the only one of that franchise you will have had to see
Batman
for context is Batman v Superman. Man of Steel is basically... Well, okay, actually, you need to see Man of Steel.
Well, yeah, you need to see Man of Steel to understand Batman v Superman, you need to watch Batman v Superman to understand this film. Yeah. These films are not as self-contained as, say, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, you can't just go into them and just say, like, oh, okay, these are the characters. You're not, like, reintroducing them each time. You can literally just jump in at any point with those films, to more of a degree than you can with DC.
I mean, I really was not keen for Justice League until Wonder Woman was really, really good.
Yeah, like, I wasn't hyped. I mean, I thought that, big budget sort of... ensemble piece with superheroes I thought was sort of Marvel's area, and like Batman v Superman I thought was really bad. So to actually see Wonder Woman turn out so good gave me more hope for the Justice League movie.
Yeah, but even then I still knew Zack Snyder was directing it, and Zack Snyder's only directed one film that I've liked all the way through, which is 300. I mean, Watchmen's Valiant Attempt is very loyal to the comic in a lot of parts, but in other parts it really misses a lot of the point that the comic had. Like, there was a lot of slow build-up, there was lots of little hints, and Zack Snyder just goes full body for it. Though I think Mark Kermode, it was one critic I heard, said, the problem with Zack Snyder is he never can see beyond the surface with anything. Like, it's with... And the prime example of this is Sucker Punch, which is a fun... I don't care how many people like this. I'm a bit worried that I know people who actually really, really like this film. And I'm really worried about getting this opinion out there, but Sucker Punch is a phenomenal piece of crap.
I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know.
It's just... You could tell this was clearly Zack Snyder's vanity project that he'd had going on, and he only got the go-ahead to do it because Watchmen was a financial success, which never should have been the case. Because Watchmen was always going to be a financial success. But when it comes to Justice League, though,
I feel as though Snyder should have kept his hands off it, really. From the input that we had from Joss Whedon directing and writing.
well, he directed a lot of the reshoots and did a lot of scripts.
Yeah.
I really felt like the most of the best things about this film were Whedon stuff rather than Snyder's stuff.
You can really sort of tell, and I think one of the what I said to Calvin earlier was in all of the trailers you've got all of these self-contained scenes where it's like Aquaman or Batman having this like interesting little interaction with one of the other characters. Like those scenes are glaringly obvious in the movie, and I think that like they literally include them so that they can put them in the trailer for the actual movie, and I think that makes them bad. Really.
Oh, by the way, one of the trailer scenes goes absolutely nowhere. One of the scenes from the trailer that was bigged up has been cut from the film.
Oh yeah, the Green Lantern one you said.
Well, we suspected at the time it was going to be a Green Lantern reveal, but because it's where Alfred says he said you were coming to best get to work, and he's nowhere. Well, that scene goes nowhere. In fact, well, let's go into. We'll go to spoilers in a minute, but I think my opinion of the film is I found it underwhelming.
Yeah, I think we both wanted it to be really good. We both wanted it to be what the first Avengers movie was.
For the DC universe, yeah, I wanted that Avengers experience, and the Avengers is one of my all-time favourite films.
Yeah, and it did not live up to that expectation, or the expectation that Wonder Woman set for us.
But that being said, I felt like watching this film, this could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Absolutely. I mean, comparatively, I think it could have been Batman vs Superman. I think it could, or I think you thought it could maybe have been Man of Steel, but thankfully wasn't. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Yeah, damages were limited, and I think they made a wise decision to reshoot some of the scenes. And I think sort of Whedon's contributions to the film actually made it a lot better than what it could have been.
Do you know what's great about this film? The colour's back.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman kind of moved in this direction, but Justice League is really, which is, it's not all this dark stuff. It's not constantly dark. There's a bit of brightness there, and that's one of the things I liked about the DC universe was it was always a bit brighter than the Marvel universe always was. Because I'm much more of a, when it comes to comics, I'm much more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy. I mean, the irony is we've actually released this on the same day that the first issue of Doomsday Clock is out,
which you've read,
which is the DC's the DC Watchmen crossover event comic that's been built up big time for the last 2 years, and I've absolutely loved I love the first issue. The first issue is great. I mean, I think you will have to have read Watchmen to understand it fully, or at least seen the movie, but realise the ending was changed. But for my money, I'm really looking forward to this. And we're going to be doing it for a year now. It's going to be a 12-issue event comic over a year, which I'm looking forward to. But with this film, I mean, one of the things about this film is I think some of the characters do better. They do some of the characters better than others.
Yeah, definitely. They picked up Jason Momoa coming in as Aquaman, I think.
But that being said, I'm really excited to see his Aquaman solo film.
I'm excited for his film, but I think his role in Justice League and his character, underdeveloped as it was, and sort of coming in with this with a limited basis, I think really was a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I think Barry Allen. I think the Flash's character was was fantastic. I loved him.
Well, they didn't have to do too much. They don't go too much into his origin, but then again, you don't really need to because we've had the CW series.
Yeah, but again, I don't think they should have included the thing with his father not in the ensemble movie. What they I'm going to speak a little bit about the structure of what they did by introducing the characters. So within Justice League, before all of them unify into the single team, into the entity known as Justice League, you get some basic background on each of them. So for the characters that haven't been introduced, Barry Allen, Cyborg, and Aquaman, you get a little bit of history, like a little bit of what they're like, and it's sort of like a foundation for what the character is going to be and the role that they're going to play throughout the film. And you also get like a little cool couple of scenes with Batman and with Wonder Woman even, which are quite good. But for the characters that don't have such an interesting or really engaging character motif, unless you actually understand them from start to finish, like the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, introducing them in this way really makes it feel less interesting.
I think one of the big problems with this film is the villain's rather weak.
Yes, Steppenwolf is bad.
Steppenwolf is not a great villain. He's not. He's just kind of there, does something, then poofs away. I mean, I'm really going to complain a lot less about the Marvel Cinematic Universe villains being rather underdeveloped because at least they're more developed than Steppenwolf is.
Yeah, I know I was rather scathing about Hela, but at least Hela wasn't Steppenwolf.
No, Hela was much better villain than Steppenwolf because at least we got a sense of her character and what. With Steppenwolf, we don't get too much, but we'll go into that in the spoiler territory. Yeah. Shall we? We'll get your. Do you have anything else to say before we go into the spoiler territory about your thoughts on the film?
No, I mean, I'll say I actually think so. In terms of the fight scenes that we had and the ones that we were given, I thought they were incredibly good.
Yeah, the fight scenes are very well shot.
They were one of the stronger points of the film, I thought. Though, as I mentioned, the chemistry and maybe some of the interactions between the characters and the history that were given, I don't think that was as strong. But seeing all of them interact with each other in a battle setting.
Yeah, they actually interact with each other quite well, which is very bizarre considering how much these characters have not known each other that long.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But then again, the Avengers didn't know themselves that long in the film. And it more just felt like we knew them longer because we'd seen all their previous solo films.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So that's kind of our thoughts on the film, non-spoiler wise. That's all we got. That's all we can really say on it. But I found it all right, but it's rather underwhelming, and it's actually quite good at times. But at the same time, I'm wondering, am I saying that because all the other films, apart from Wonder Woman, were not that good? So anything that's even remotely good is like a step up.
Yeah. So spoilers. So
well, Superman's back to life.
Yep. Didn't see that one coming. Oh, okay.
But even that's another thing that's underwhelming about this film because it's just there. It's not really treated any grandiose or anything like that. I was expecting him not to turn up until the final fight.
Yeah. See basically in response to Steppenwolf. So the idea is the Amazonians, the humans, and the Atlanteans all have
a mother box.
These three items called the mother box, and they form together.
Which is a remnant of Apocalypse, because this film hates people that haven't read comics.
Yeah. So they bond together to form the Unity, which is a power that was used by the villain Steppenwolf millennia ago to try and
which we never fucking see.
Yeah, to try and destroy the planet and basically turn it into what is his homeworld.
Apocalypse. In case anyone's wondering, they do. As anyone who's seen the film knows, they do hint at Darkseid.
Yeah. No, they don't hint at. They say his name.
Well, but they basically say they do acknowledge Darkseid exists in this.
Yeah.
But again,
it was shown in Batman v Superman, wasn't it, at the end? Near the end.
Near the end, they had the whole Apocalypse War thing going on because they felt they had to hint that storyline as well. Yeah. Because there wasn't enough going on in Batman v Superman.
Yeah. But I think one of the things the film doesn't do incredibly well is subtlety. And again, I mean, with the whole hinting.
This is a Whedon script. Whedon is hardly the most subtle person.
Well, I know, but it's just Steppenwolf literally said, "Oh, I'm doing it for this person," and then Darkseid's like, "Oh, okay, well, that. Thank you for revealing that for us." Not as if the subtle hints would have maybe given it to people with any sort of.
No. I think we would have known. I think we would have known Darkseid existed.
Yeah,
considering
you just need to say his
Apocalypse.
name.
We know Apocalypse and the new gods are in this universe because they've already established that. But the fact of the matter is, with you would have had a line like that anyway because they always treat Darkseid as if he's a god.
Yeah.
Except in the New 52 because they had a crap re-origin for him, which I think has been retconned now actually.
Yeah.
Thank God that was fucking terrible.
Yeah. But yes, so in response to Steppenwolf trying to retrieve these three mother cubes, which he manages to do, Justice League, so
Batman recruits Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Flash. Well, Aquaman's a bit of a hard one to get, but he joins up after the Atlanteans one is nicked.
Yeah, shortly after. And then, but sort of like an afterthought, just after Steppenwolf has stolen the three cubes to form his ultimate power that nobody can stop, only then do they sort of decide.
Well, he gets two of them, then they decide they're going to try and use it to resurrect Superman.
That's right, yeah. Only then, after they realise that they're hopelessly outclassed, do they even try to.
I remember that scene.
But I actually think that they could have beaten Steppenwolf anyway. Realistically, if Batman being Batman.
But Superman's meant to be the symbol of hope, which is the one thing they actually got down right. It's not this whole. The one thing I hate about Man of Steel and Batman Superman was the whole Superman is Jesus symbolism. Yeah. I got so sick of that It's like, you might as well have, that joke in the Nostalgia Critic's view where they're just yelling out, I am Jesus!
I will say, like, the whole, I mean, so Justice League and Batman v Superman is literally just a self-contained mistake of Bruce Wayne's character, or like, you know, him himself. If he hadn't, you know, if Bruce Wayne hadn't decided that Superman was somehow evil, then none of this would, you know, none of that entire thing would have happened. Like, Doomsday would have been defeated and Superman would have survived. Justice League instantly, Steppenwolf would have just got flipped off the face of the earth, basically. In fact, no, Steppenwolf wouldn't even have happened.
No. I think it all would have happened because Lex Luthor still would have got his hands on all the.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you know, Superman.
Also, it is very clear that that in Batman v Superman, that Lex Luthor is manipulating the situation.
Yeah.
Like, they do have this bit of a disagreement, but Luthor's really again, but then again, they had that point out that he's saying, what is it? He managed to figure out who Superman is, figure out who Batman is. And he did it, and he arranged for them to fight each other, and arranged the kidnapping of Superman's mom, and he did it all in one night, and all off screen. So even he doesn't know how he pulled that shit. The fact of the matter is that with the fact of the matter is though, with Superman coming back though, this is the one film that gets Superman. I don't think Man of Steel I think the first half of Man of Steel got Superman. Second half screwed it up entirely, and Batman v Superman really doesn't get Superman. This film actually gets what the character's about, and it's the Superman I wanted Henry Cavill to play all along. I've always actually said Henry Cavill was a very good choice to be Superman, and this is the film that proved it. He's very good as Superman in this movie.
I do think he plays a very good role.
Luckily, I don't think he got the role just because he happens to look a bit like Christopher Reeve.
No. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's for his acting ability.
Yeah, because the fact of the matter is, I've only seen him in a couple of films outside of
Yeah, there was one. There's a secret agent.
Oh yeah, it was The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's a remake of a TV show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. But I saw like half of that.
It's all right. It's an all right film, honestly. I wouldn't go nuts for it, but I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
Excellent performance from Alicia Vikander in it.
Yeah, so...
What else is up? I also saw him in The Cold Light of Day, which is the film he did just before Man of Steel, which is so phenomenally awful. Like, really? I'm amazed they got Bruce Willis and Sigourney Weaver to be in that piece of shit. It's got some of the worst day for night shots you'll ever see, and there's and it was actually released... We got it before America did, despite the fact it's a prominently American cast. And it was not screened for critics.
Oh, really?
That's a warning sign. If it's not screened for critics, avoid it like the plague, because I have never seen a film that was not screened for the critics. I've only actually no, that's wrong. I've seen one film that was screened for the critics that wasn't a total dumpster fire. All the others are complete dumpster fires. I mean, look at them. You got like The Devil Inside, Texas Chainsaw 3D, Independence Day Resurrection. Yeah. All dump. The only one I've seen that wasn't total dumpster fire was The Visit.
Yeah, with the M. Night Shyamalan one.
An M. Night Shyamalan film, which is actually one of his better films in recent memory. I mean, I'll never forgive him for the Last Airbender, but that film was pretty good.
I mean, his reputation definitely took a hit from that film.
And at least he pokes a bit of fun at himself in that film. He doesn't. Although sometimes I just go, it does have some moments where you go, really?
Yeah.
But going back to Justice League, I think the other so Superman comes back.
Yeah.
We have that very good fight scene between him and the rest of the League, which is very well handled and gets.
Really cool.
It gets down what Superman's power is, just how powerful he really is.
Yeah, and just how outclassed the world would be if they actually tried to fight him.
Which is, I think, it's further proof that the Suicide Squad is a stupid idea. It's actually made that film. Do you know what's amazing? Justice League has made that film worse for me.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of that league was it was meant to stop someone just as powerful as Superman coming down. And this is just proof. The 5 greatest heroes apart from Superman on the planet couldn't hold a candle to him.
Yeah. I mean, now,
unless Lois Lane joins the Suicide Squad, we're fucked.
Well, we've got the post-credit scene as well, which hints at something.
We'll move on to that in a bit.
I do want to say about Batman's character a little bit. I do want to speak a little about that because, like,
it sucks, doesn't it?
It sucks. Like, Bruce Wayne. Okay, so it's supposed to be Bruce Wayne, like, after 20 years of being Batman. So Ben Affleck portrays a sort of like grizzled veteran,
I mean, it's implied in Batman v Superman that Joker's killed one of the Robins.
Yeah.
At some point, which I wouldn't be surprised by.
Yeah.
Although if anyone actually wants to see Jared Leto back as the Joker.
God no. But yeah, I feel like I feel like his character is just terrible a lot of the time. Like he literally makes more mistakes and does less good than he does effectively no good. His fight scenes and his action scenes are relatively underwhelming. He actually accomplishes very little in the face of such interesting characters like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, etc., who actually accomplish things. You know, those two other people who actually fight Steppenwolf and, you know, do a relatively good job of holding their own. Whereas Batman gets in the Batmobile and basically gets wrecked by what is effectively cannon fodder. I think a lot of his judgment calls as the de facto leader of the Justice League as a replacement for Superman really don't act as any sort of advantage to the team as a whole.
Snyder just does not get Batman.
No.
In any sense of the word. No. I think Whedon kind of gets him a bit more, and I think Whedon got, most of the best scenes are the stuff that Whedon wrote.
Yeah.
And I will say that I did like Commissioner Gordon in this film. I think J.K. Simmons is very good as Commissioner Gordon.
I just think that, like, I don't know, I feel like they made a way to make Batman look uncool. I mean, coming out from the Dark Knight trilogy, like, you know, people had a very high expectation of Batman. And when people knew that Affleck was coming forward as Batman for the next, like, you know, for the new generation of DC films, people were like, okay, let's give it a chance. And then he's basically...
I'm stopping you there. No, they were not like that.
Were they not?
No, they were. Everyone hated the idea of him playing Batman. And if you tell me not otherwise, you are talking shite. I was there. Everyone was like, no, bad decision. You can't have Ben Affleck play Batman. The only person who... I'm going to just say it out there, and I'm going to rep the hate. Christian Bale is not that good at Batman.
No, I agree. I don't think he was fantastic. But
I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy is fine for what it is, but it's not like the comics.
No, not at all.
No. It's clearly Christopher Nolan doing his thing, but he gets Batman.
Yeah.
He definitely gets Batman, and Bale is more in essence of the character than Affleck is at times. Although Affleck, I think, has more... When Affleck is the essence of the character, he does it a lot better than Bale ever did.
But I feel like he doesn't... I don't know, I'm sort of critical of his role.
I think it's played more by bad writing than his acting.
That's what I mean. I don't by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean,
Affleck's a bad actor, but I do think that they have done him wrong.
I actually think Affleck's a very good director. I think he's a much better director than he is an actor. I mean, look at his films he's directed so far, like The Town and Argo.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I'm actually a bit upset he's not directing the upcoming solo Batman film. But I'd like the choice they've picked.
Yeah.
Which is Matt Reeves, who directed the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy, which I think is...
I enjoy. I've seen the first two of that. I really enjoy it.
You really got to see War for Planet of the Apes. It caps off the series phenomenally.
Yeah.
God knows when that film's coming out. I mean, at this point in time, it's a bit up in the air. I really hope... but the League come together. The final fight scene's actually quite good. I like the Superman contribution, and it at least suggests the idea that Superman couldn't do it alone. He needed the help of the League for this thing. So there was a decent reason for them coming together. It's just a bit of an underwhelming film. I would have liked this film to have been a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, again...
For a bit more character development.
Yeah, again, my issue was sort of like the way that they introduced the characters that we haven't previously seen was done in such like a ragtag and almost like...
But at the same time, they're not too bad characters, and I'm looking forward to their solo films.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what they've given us is like basically a taster of what we can have from DC in the future. And like, you know, for all the solo films that are going to be coming out, I am very excited. But to introduce them in such a way where they have them starting off as their own separate entities and then sort of converging into one team, I really think could have been done better.
But if I was to recommend a good Justice League film, this is not the first one I'd recommend.
No.
I would much rather I'm trying to think of some really good ones to recommend now. It's the animated ones a bit. The animated series is just phenomenal. It's one of my 10 favourite TV shows. I would really recommend Justice League the animated series. But if I'm going by films, I liked the one based on the Garth Ennis comic. Not Garth Ennis. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a Justice League New Frontier. That's a great one. I really recommend Justice League New Frontier. Justice League Doom has its own issues, but I think Justice League Doom is pretty good. Especially Kevin Conroy and Tim Daly back as Batman and Superman. And that actually introduced Cyborg into the League a lot better.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting idea, which is kind of played in one of the post-credit scenes. I've been a great Justice. If you like The Flash and his storylines, I would also recommend the movie Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Although that one's much more of a Flash-focused story. Although it does have implications for the DC universe as a whole.
Should we think of some positives of the film?
I thought we got a few positives out there, but I think some of the positives of the film is I like the characters. I think there's some good interaction. I think I like the brighter tone when it sticks to that. I like the colour. I like the fact the costumes are actually pretty well designed, and like the comics are not all dark tinted.
Yeah. Would you say any standout characters of the main cast?
Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash.
Yeah, I'd agree. What did you think of Cyborg?
Cyborg's a bit dull for me, but I thought Ray Fisher actually does quite well. And I remember I read a review for this where someone said he brought his Broadway training into this because he's a former Broadway actor.
Oh, okay.
And you can really see that in his performance. And I like the fact he got the booyah out there, which is everyone who's seen the Teen Titans animated series. Get that. I much prefer Cyborg being a Teen Titan than a Justice League member, but DC kind of wants to make him a Justice League guy, so I'll let them stick with that. I mean, there's some hints that we're going to get Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter in the team in the future.
Yeah. Green Lantern will be interesting.
I mean, they hint at Green Lantern in that flashback. There was a Green Lantern in there, and Shazam is hinted at as well, which I'm very excited by because they've announced that Zachary Levi's going to be playing Shazam and The Rock's playing Black Adam.
What? The Rock is going to be in DC Universe?
Yeah, he's going to be playing Black Adam. Potentially, there's some talk he might be in the next Justice League film for the post-credit scene. Because the post-credit scene, you know the one I'm on about. There's... what's your big positives from this film?
I think... so what we see of the characters that we know and are established. So Gal Gadot, amazing. I'm in love with her. I think Wonder Woman's character in the film is just like actually just gets better. But
I think a lot of what made her good was the fact we had that previous film to really get down.
Again, like it's literally just because we have the background for the character.
Like that line where he says, "What about Steve Trevor?" That when she punches him, that line would not have made as much of an impact.
No, not at all.
If we hadn't seen that film.
Ben Affleck wasn't a massive fan on Cyborg. I actually quite enjoyed. It was kind of a different character because like while Aquaman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, etc. are all like paragons and like they're all people that you should strive towards. Cyborg is this multi-dimensional character where he is struggling with the disparity between his machine side and his human side. So what we were given, I thought, was really interesting, and I think in future it's
I mean,
could be
I wasn't excited when I heard there was a Cyborg solo film. I said you could have taken that out and had a Teen Titans film. But we'll go into the films we actually would like to see and the ones that we're looking forward to after we get past the post-credit scenes. But that's a good positive. So there's two post-credit scenes. There's one in the middle, which is the Flash and Superman preparing for a race against each other.
Is cool.
I like that. It kind of feels very similar to that shawarma scene in the Avengers. But the last one is the one that sets up the bridge. So we zoom into this boat, and then we see Deathstroke and Lex Luthor.
Who has escaped from prison.
Because it's Lex Luthor.
Well, so it looks like... I mean, I'm not 100% on this, but it looks like there may be some Joker involvement because the post-credit scene starts with like the jailers going around these cells and like sort of rounding up everybody out of the cells, and they go into Lex Luthor's and they see this bald dude who's sort of like looking up. Is he bald at the time? Yeah, he's bald. Sort of looking up and.
Still don't know why they shaved his hair at the end of Batman v Superman.
Yeah, God knows. But they turned him around, and like he's basically laughing maniacally. So I wonder if maybe Joker has something to do with that, but I'm not 100%. And then we go to this boat where
Lex Luthor is, and then Deathstroke shows up, and he's basically saying they're sorting out their league, we might need a league of our own, which suggests the next film's going to have the Injustice League. Which I'm looking forward to, because I reckon what's going to happen is, I've heard a prediction which I reckon they're going to do, which is going to cherry pick all the villains that work.
Yeah.
So like in a Suicide Squad 2, whichever villains are popular in that are going to get cherry picked into the Justice League.
Yeah.
Whoever, if Black Adam's very popular in Shazam, he gets put in.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's going to be that way around. And maybe even Sinestro will come in from. I reckon it's going to be a team very similar to the event comic Forever Evil. But I'm dead excited about that idea. I mean, I actually felt Jesse Eisenberg in that one scene did a lot better as Lex Luthor than any of his other ones. It looks like you get a sense that he's got some possession from Apocalypse in Batman v Superman, which would explain a lot. But I'm hoping that he becomes more like the Lex Luthor I think he should have been.
Well, again, like, it reinforces the fact that Jesse Eisenberg is not a bad actor, and we know that, but like, his character
is not
a
brilliant choice for Lex Luthor.
Poorly written. No, I mean, okay, maybe not.
But I actually said when he was cast, I thought if he's directed right, he's written right, he could be a good Lex Luthor.
If he's like, it's like if he's good, he's really good. But if he's bad, then like. He's really bad. Well,
I mean, my biggest problem was I thought he was too young for the role, but which I still think he is. I think he's a bit too young to be played, especially considering Henry Cavill is
30-something.
Is playing Superman. But considering that but that being said,
well, it's a sort of different take on Lex Luthor they've gone for, really, isn't it? It's more
not
like,
a good one.
No, it seems like more like post-teen philanthropist as opposed to like charismatic politician.
Yeah, it is more. it's Mark Zuckerberg taking over the world.
Yeah, literally.
Which he's already done.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, we just need to wait until Zuckerberg shaves his head and then.
What films are you really looking forward to across? Not just next year, across the whole. We'll do next year. Aquaman and Flash. Which one are you more looking forward to?
I think Flash is going to be more of a success, but I'm more looking forward to Aquaman because I feel like his character is interesting. And like, I'm not saying the Flash is uninteresting, but I already like him a lot, so I want to see more of Aquaman.
I'm more looking forward to Aquaman because I think I've already had enough of the Flash with the Flash TV series, and I think Grant Gustin is a much better choice for the Flash than Ezra Miller is.
Can I just ask? So is he now? As the TV show now stopped, or is that just running concurrently?
No, it's doing another season of it. It's going to be really confusing for anyone who's not that. It's going to be really confusing for newcomers.
Slightly, yeah.
I mean, you've been following it for up to now. I mean, I bet a lot of people are wondering why it's not Grant Gustin in the role in the film. But I'm not looking forward to the Flash. I mean, I'm wondering which villain they're going to go with, considering they've done most of his villains in the TV series. So like, are we going to do Reverse Flash again, or is it Professor Zoom? I always hate the fact that the Speedster is the final villain, and it's always got to be Barry's got to find a reason to run faster. Like, you've done this 3 times, you've done it like 3 or 4 times now. There's other Flash villains. I mean, they've only shown one Flash villain in the DC Cinematic Universe so far, and that was Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
Who's played by Jai Courtney. Who else is? Yeah, a lot of captains. I mean, they could do the Trickster, who was voiced by Mark Hamill in the...
and played by him in the TV series.
Yeah, although they have another one who's meant to be his son, and they did that "I am your father" line.
Oh,
and I thought no one could have said that. No one would ever had a straight face after that. I just imagine him going cut, and then everyone just pissing themselves laughing. No one could have done that scene with a straight face. But what other films are you really looking forward to?
I think I'm going to be looking forward to Green Lantern.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to Green Lantern.
I'm going to be approaching it with trepidation because obviously of the Ryan Reynolds film. And going into that, it could have been really good, but it just wasn't.
But no, it's not called Green Lantern. It's called Green Lantern Corps.
Okay.
So I think they're going to have all 3 or 4 of the Earth Green Lanterns in one place. Like we'll have Hal Jordan, Carl Rayner, Jon Stewart, and Guy Gardner in one film. Maybe Simon Baz and I've forgotten the name of the new one now, and I'm really annoying myself because she was one of my favourite parts of DC Rebirth. Because I really didn't. I mean, I'd really like to see. I'm really looking forward to Green Lantern Corps because I want a really good Green Lantern film because Green Lantern is one of my favourite superheroes. And one of my favourite comics in general. I really, if you want to talk about great writers, Jeff Johns writing Green Lantern is just his run was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I really like the Green Lantern animated series as well. The Green Lantern animated series was excellent. What else is up? I'm kind of looking forward to a Man of Steel 2 now. I really want to go in like that.
Sort of like I think now that we've seen that he's not this infallible Jesus character. Well, I mean, I suppose now that he's been resurrected, he's more Jesus than ever. But I think now that we've seen that he can be beaten and that he isn't this infallible character, that we now having that dimension and that hindsight, I do think going forward, watching Man of Steel, having a second Man of Steel.
Would you like? I'm really hoping to see Wonder Woman 2.
Yes.
Sooner rather than later. Wonder Woman 2 will be excellent. I don't know which villain they're going to go with now that they've done the God of War.
You said the Cheetah?
The Cheetah could be it, yeah. I'm wondering how much of a threat she can be. Again, especially considering we've gone from the God of War. I mean, I know there's a few other villains that are just as strong as Ares from Wonder Woman comics, but...
I mean, you can always have other characters sort of swooping into help, though, I suppose. I mean, it might even just be, a collective villain that I don't know, say Green Lantern or something comes
Well, again, they could go down the route that they did in Captain America Civil War, which was a fantastic way to get a villain into a film. I mean, Zemo's probably my favourite Marvel Cinematic Universe villains now. Because he doesn't do any fighting, he just gets them to fight for him. I quite like the look at I like the idea of Shazam. I mean, I'm glad John Cena's not in the role now, because that would have been really weird.
That would have been fun.
It would have been fun, but I would have thought, okay, I've already seen John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't need to see it a third time.
Yeah.
Especially with this ridiculous. I mean, wrestling's ridiculous enough as it is. And I'm a fan, and I'm saying that. I watch wrestling repeatedly. I watched SmackDown before I came here. But I'm not looking forward to Matt Reeves' Batman, weirdly.
No.
Because I like the idea of it, and I like the whole concept of it, but it looks like it's so all over the place.
I think the idea of introducing a tired and already well-established Batman into the franchise means that he should have a closing film sooner than expected. I do think that maybe his solo film should be maybe a second to last film.
Supposedly Deathstroke's going to be the main villain in that. I'm going to get introduced to this universe's version of Nightwing.
Okay.
So what I reckon they should do is, the Bruce Wayne should die.
Well, because Affleck's already expressed disinterest in continuing in the role.
Why don't you just have Bruce Wayne die, and whoever's playing Dick Grayson, he becomes the new Batman.
That's what I mean.
That's what happened in the comics.
I mean, that way, we've had an introduction to the Batman, the Batman Rogues Gallery, effectively, and the Batman universe, and then we can continue with another character who's a fresh face, and that way we're also not sort of besmirching the...
I'd have Wonder Woman lead the Justice League.
There you go. We should write for DC.
I don't think they're ever going to make a call to us.
We'll include the details in the document.
Well, yeah, but I'm also kind of not. I don't know why, but I'm really not looking. There's a couple of things I'm not really that. That's the only one I'm not really that into the idea of. I'm not incredibly into the idea. I know I'm more into it now than I was before, but I'm still not really into the idea of a solo cyborg film.
Yeah. I do think we need more on his character, but I don't know if maybe a solo film is a good place to go.
If any DC characters who haven't got a film or haven't been introduced, you'd like to see get introduced. I mean, I'm also not looking forward to Suicide Squad 2 because I don't see where you're going to go with that.
I mean, I really badly want to see the Penguin.
Make him a villain in the.
I don't think I don't like.
Who would you cast to play the Penguin?
I mean, apart from Danny DeVito again. I don't know.
I had an idea the other day about this, but I don't know if I'm going to get accused of being discriminatory with this one.
Okay.
Which is, I think Warwick Davis should play him.
Maybe, yeah.
I think Warwick Davis would make a good Penguin. I think he's got the right look to play the character.
He's got a good accent, to be fair.
He's got the British accent, which the Penguin's meant to have. And he can play characters that command respect in a room.
Yeah.
I mean, look at he practically played a character in the last Harry Potter film.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Warwick Davis is going to turn down a role in a Batman film.
No. Well, I just think it's hard to sort of integrate these characters into a new universe when, particularly characters like the Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman less so, but like those sorts of characters.
Oh God, but the Penguin sucks in Gotham.
I really like him in Gotham. You see.
Yeah, he's fine, but don't call him the Penguin. He's just not. He's not the character from the comic. Why do they never get a British actor to play the Penguin? He's meant to be from London.
Yeah. I think it's hard to sort of update these characters to
Why
meet.
have the Arkham games got this right?
Yeah. But I think it's quite difficult to update these characters to a newer audience, especially when we've had Bane. The Joker is obviously timeless, but Ra's al Ghul, for example, in the trilogy.
But I don't know. I disagree. I think I think a lot of the Batman villains are timeless. That's why they're kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
I still. That's why the Arkham games work so well, because you'll still like fighting these characters. Do you know what's weird? I'm going to throw it out there. I'd like a Teen Titans film.
Yeah, that would be interesting because Beast Boy, Robin.
There's a lot of characters you can play with. I mean, look at the film. Look at the comic Teen Titans Earth 1. That gives a new take on the Teen Titans, where all these sidekicks and all this don't exist. But they do it very well. I mean, you could have Beast. You don't even have to introduce sidekicks. You could have Beast Boy, Raven. You could get some characters in there like. You could get Donna Troy in there because the Amazons have been established.
Yeah.
I can think of a ton of characters. I think a Teen Titans film has got a lot going for it. You could introduce another Robin in there, maybe.
I'm going to say final thoughts. I think for Justice League. I think another film like Justice League, another. Yeah,
I want another Justice League.
Another one will be a lot better. I think
they're on the right track now. I think DC's on the right track now, and I'm really disappointed this has not done well at the box office because we're not rewarding them for being on the right track.
DC has started at a massive disadvantage because Marvel's already way into its own stride, but DC having now
caught up.
Basically, yeah. So now that they've had 4 or 5 films in the continuity, they've sort of brought back into their own strides, and I think everything that they do from now will only be better. They've had at least three bad films, and from those experiences they can learn more and sort of introduce better elements that we can sort of empathise more with. I'm
saying go see us in the cinema.
Yeah, I think go see it in the cinema.
Although don't bother with 3D like we did, because I stopped noticing the 3D effects so soon into the film.
Yeah.
But I think go and see it in the cinema. I want this thing to do better in the box office than it has done, because I feel we need to encourage DC that this is the kind of film we want to see, and that we want to encourage them to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, I think that going to see this, I think that catching up on the DC trilogy while it's young now, while it's in its sort of starting phases, is important.
I think the only film you should skip is Suicide Squad.
Yes, skip Suicide Squad.
It's just crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crap, but it's not great either.
Yeah. It's basically Justice League.
It's not even. It's just weird. It's the ultimate example of style over substance, because they sold the style of that film before they ever really got a comprehensive script.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people have really had a go at me for that one. And I've always said you can't just say, oh, it looks really cool and it's actually really cool, and I've seen all the shirts in Primark. That doesn't make a good film. A comprehensive script and a good idea makes a good film. Yeah. Anyway, so that's us. Like, share, subscribe, and all our Twitter handles at the bottom. We're going to be back with Anime Amigos for the next 2 weeks, actually.
You get so much content of our faces.
And of course, we're going to be back for Carl and Rome reviews in a couple of weeks when we review Star Wars. So thanks for watching. See you real soon.
See you soon.